Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, and welcome to another viewer spotlight. I'm looking at a slightly unusual machine today because it's the Pz.II, which is something of a legend in the low tiers. You don't see them very often, and that's because it's quite difficult and expensive to get a hold of them. Jingles has one, of course. He uses a lot of gold ammo on it because one of the defining characteristics is that it has a terrible gun. I mean really bad. 23 penetration with AP, I think 46 average with APCR, and it's a 2 centimeter flat gun. The other defining feature is it's massively armoured for a tier 3. It's got 18 millimeters of armour at tier 3, which is, I think, maybe double the next best. There are a couple of 40mm armoured machines. Although having said that, there's the T70 or whatever it is, that's got pretty good armour, but that's because of the sloping. Anyway, this thing, like I've said, it's not a common sight, and it's because it's so expensive, and also even though it's got quite troll armour, I think the fact that it's got that really terrible gun is a reason you just don't see them around also, because it's the kind of machine you take out for a spin every once in a while, because even though it's got that 18mm frontal armour, 60mm side armour, although the upper front plate is only 25, so you know, bear that in mind if you see one. It's the trolling potential is limited by the fact that A, there's still stuff that can pen you, especially if they know to hit the weak spots, and B, that it's so slow that in low tier battles they can all happen so fast that by the time you get there it's all over. So this has been sent in by V2 well, it's meant to be V2 Vengeance, but he confessed that he actually misspelled it. So I will point out V2 Ven that you can change your name for gold these days. V2 Ven has actually got his own YouTube channel. I will put the link in below, and he sent me this, and because it's a Pz.II, because I don't get sent many Pz.II replays, I thought I'd show it. So this is tier 3, his top tier, and it's quite nice. It's Prokhorovka. You can just basically, in this situation, I mean, looking at the enemy team setup, he can pretty much just roll towards them, because the only guns on the enemy side that are a threat are probably going to be the Su-76 and the T-57. So that's a fairly acceptable risk. You can just roll towards the enemy and well, fingers crossed, you know, you still have to employ some brain power. It's not like you can just roll at them and laugh as their tears. I don't know what the reticle's doing there. That's slightly odd. Laugh as their tears something, I don't know, something about tears and laughing, and I don't know, I got distracted there by my brain, as sometimes happens. So yeah, this is what he's going to do though. He's just going to roll towards the enemy slowly. This is not a fast machine. I mean, it is basically an up-armoured Pz.II, but even though it's up-armoured, they didn't put in a better engine, you know, a more powerful engine. It's the engine it had, the Pz.II. So whatever engine that is, I would have to look that up. I can't remember these things off the top of my head. Anyway, side of an M2 medium, I think we can pen that. Cruiser 3, I think we can also pen that, and this is all regular ammo so far. I'm pretty sure Jingles runs with a full load of APCR. V2 Ven's actually only got 100 rounds of APCR, so he's actually got to pick and choose what targets he's firing at against. No opposition really so far. There's those two tanks. There's really not much. There's two tanks on the 0 line, but otherwise there's not much on that side of the map at all. So I think we can guess that the majority of the tanks are on the 1-2 line. So he's just going to keep rolling forward. Oh, burns out the medium. Very nice. And that's actually not the first tank he's going to burn out in this game. He's obviously using the incendiary rounds with this gun. And still, he just rolls forward because 80mm of armour, what me worry. Although he hasn't actually been fired at yet, but that will change. Apologies for background noise, by the way. That's my parents' dog still. I'm still recording stuff at my parents' while I'm looking after their house for a period of several weeks. So yeah, recording is interesting at the moment. There's various, you know, they don't woof too much, fortunately, but Yeah. Anyway, T57, the enemy T57 is actually AFK, which is quite useful. Although that thing has got fairly troll armor itself for tier 2. It's not that great, but against a gun this week at this range, given that V2 Ven, you know, he's firing at the guy at an angle essentially, it's not going to be able to do much damage against this guy. Yeah, he's trying. Oh, there we go, 12. Starting to bounce some shells now. Oh, a bit more damage, 58 damage. I think it's 10 shells per clip, basically. So even though 400 sounds like a lot, the rate of fire and the rate of reload means it's actually not, you know, I think it is probably possible to run out in a 15-minute battle. Anyway, managed to get the kill of the T57. 4 kills. Might get a top gun at this rate, that'd be nice. That Pz.II is sort of at an angle to him, so Pz.II can't pen him, but he can't pen the Pz.II very well either. He's doing a little bit of damage though. There's just a few lucky shells that are going through. The majority of those are just bouncing. He actually needs his team to, you know, he's doing a reasonable amount of damage himself here. That's getting towards 600 damage now. But he needs his team to help out a little bit as well. Because at this rate, he's either going to run out of ammo or he's just, you know, he's going to bounce all the shells basically. Look at this, just rolling towards the enemy. The only tank I can think of where you can also do this is not even really the KV-4, but the mouse. And it really depends on what enemies you're facing as well, because there's still a lot of stuff that can hurt a mouse, even if you're top tier and there's lots of tier 8s around. But sometimes it's hilarious because you can just roll towards them and they just panic. And I think it must be akin to this feeling right here, just rolling towards them and just watching them just totally not knowing what to do. And that's what makes this so troll, is because it's low tier. A lot of players that meet this aren't going to know yet about weak spots, they're not going to know about the specific weak spots of this, and also bear in mind that it's counterintuitive. The upper front plate is actually weaker than the lower front plate of this thing. So even if you do know about firing at lower front plates, that's actually the wrong place to shoot at in this particular tank. It's actually the upper front plate you've got to shoot at. Even though it's angled, it's only 25mm of angled armour, so that's 30 odd millimeters effective. So yeah, it's like even the usual place you would fire at is actually troll. And there we go, a second one on fire. Somebody else hit him, but he burned the guy out for that final tick of damage. There's a top gun. Unfortunately, we're about to cap. It's a tier 3 game, what can you expect? He would like to get that last guy. Another kill would be nice, but he got the top gun, so that was pretty good. You know, I don't think you get the opportunity to get a top gun that often in this thing, because mostly they run away from you, or your teammates kill them before you can get there, or it's the curse of a slow tank, really. So that was an ace tanker game. He got cool-headed, unsurprisingly. He got a steel wall and a top gun, which is always nice. 844 damage, so he was actually doing some damage there, and he didn't need to overly rely on the premium ammo to do it, although he got lucky with the targets he was shooting at for some of it, and setting 2 tanks on fire with a low caliber gun, that's pretty lucky as well. The Marder on their team did alright as well, 748. Was a pretty sharp drop off after that. A lot of tanks did 0 damage. The enemy team wasn't much good either. The enemy T18 actually 5 kills, but they only did 575 damage for those 5 kills. Nearly 1k XP with premium, that was nearly 1500 XP. And potential damage received in the tier 3 match, 1919. Yeah, nearly 2k potential. That's pretty good for a tier 3. So that's really what this tank is all about, is just trolling the enemy. Sometimes it trolls you. It's not like it's totally invulnerable. 60 side armor is still enough for a lot of tanks if they get around you. Like I said, the upper front plate is actually pretty weak if you know to shoot there. But on the whole, yeah, there's a reason you don't see many of these things, and it's probably a good thing you don't see many of these things, just because it's so expensive. And can you imagine if tier 3 was just filled with these? Yeah, that would be interesting. So, like I said, V2 Ven has got a channel you can check out. You can hit the like button on this video, you can leave a comment below, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.